Hello and welcome to 7th Circle Gaming, now with added pop filter. Today, as per the title card, we're going to be analyzing the game Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. We'll start the analysis proper in just a moment, but of course we always have to start with the full disclosure. And if you're interested in reading through all this, just pause the video now and read at your leisure. But if reading isn't really your thing, just let the video run. Welcome back to the video. We're going to start off by looking at what Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater refers to as Legacy Mode. The aim of this mode is to recreate as much as possible the experience of playing the original game. From what we can see, the world of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is rendered in a very realistic art style, although there are some science fiction or science fantasy elements. Moving on to the user interface. At the top left-hand corner of the screen, we have the character health as well as a stamina indicator. At the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, we have the currently selected gadget indicator. Now, depending on what gadget the player has selected, this is going to affect what is displayed in the top right-hand corner of the screen. As we're utilizing the motion tracker at the moment, what we're seeing is a motion tracker display, which would display with a colored icon with all of the moving opposition forces. At the bottom right-hand corner of our screen, we see the currently selected weapon indicator. In a second, we're going to notice that the perspective has shifted rather drastically from the isometric that we just saw to a first-person perspective. We include this to illustrate that this is a function that the game has. Even in this legacy mode, the player is not restricted to the isometric perspective. With these final two gameplay clips, we aim to illustrate one overarching point, and that is the differences between legacy mode and the more modern Metal Gear Solid 5 derived mode. So as you watch the rest of this gameplay footage, do make note of any differences between this mode and the later mode that you're going to see in just a moment. That's all the gameplay footage for the Legacy mode, so now let's move on and take a look at what the game refers to as MGS5, that's Metal Gear Solid 5 mode, or what we're going to refer to as Modern mode. Now, the first thing that we notice is that the game has shifted from the isometric perspective to the more common over-the-shoulder third-person shooter perspective. The user interface has not changed significantly, nor has the world changed significantly. It's still that very realistic, with some science fantasy elements. We've jumped forward a little bit here in the gameplay footage because we want to illustrate some of the similarities between the modern mode and the legacy mode. The menu system does not change substantially between, or significantly, between the legacy mode and the modern mode, and there are still some peculiarities about the movement system that do not change between legacy and modern mode. In the area of immersion, the game has earned a score of 11 out of 15, which is rather high indeed. It's almost a perfect score. From all of our evaluation sessions, the game seems to rely primarily on the areas of presentation, story, and challenge to get players immersed into the in-game world, with audio coming in a very close second, followed by player agency. In the area of difficulty, the game has earned a score of 3 out of 15. The real high points here are the description of the difficulty options. While not immediately very obvious, after some experience with the game, how those options will impact difficulty becomes increasingly clear. The game also includes a gameplay guide which functions rather like a manual, and tooltips to keep players informed about what the control inputs are. On the negative side, the default keybinds, both for mouse and keyboard and gamepad, in both modern and legacy mode, may not be what players are necessarily accustomed to, and it will require an additional bit of acclimating to before players can really use them effectively, in particular in melee combat. In the area of lasting appeal, the game has earned a score of 4.5 out of 15, with the usual suspects well represented here, that being retrying the game on different difficulty settings, attempting a player-defined challenge like playing through the game utilizing only a pistol, attempting to collect all of the collectible objects, and retrying with different combinations of settings. That's all the proper chapters covered, so now then, let's talk about the overall score. Overall, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, to give it its full and correct title, has earned a score of 6.16 out of 15, which puts it very close to the absolute average score of 7.5 out of 15. Now, around here, we would consider that to be in the range of a niche appeal game. That's all the objectivity we can manage for this video, so now then, let's get out some salt and get subjective. To make a very long story short, the software is likely to appeal to 3 different groups of players. The first being players that did not experience the game originally and are interested in experiencing the game. The second group of players are players that did experience the game originally, but no longer have hardware that will support the software in some way. The third group of players are players that are just interested in learning the backstory of characters that they know from later games in the franchise. And on that final highly subjective note, we offer a congratulations to everyone who watched all the way to the end of the video. If you disagree with anything that we've said in this video, do let us know in the comments section below. You can also use the comments to recommend a game for analysis on the channel, and we will get to it as soon as we possibly can. Please do, if you like this sort of highly objective analysis, click the subscribe button, click like, and do all the other YouTube things. Until the next video from 7th Circle Gaming, thank you and goodbye.